This budget is approximately a $41 million budget. For the last couple of years, the county had been going into cash in the general fund. Some of the biggest factors was loss of interest income. There was a time when the county trustee was earning 3% on the county's money. Now they're earning 0.4. That's just like having a tax cut. Then, of course, when the financial crisis happened, then you had all these assessed values went down in the county, which also was just like having a tax cut. So it's just gotten to where, with the Affordable Health Care Act coming on, there was just a time to do something, and this was the year it had to happen. If we didn't increase the revenue this year, then more than likely you're going to start having to borrow money in order to just make payroll. And that's not a position that DeKalb County has ever been in and doesn't want to be in, trust me. The county's currently rated A1 by Moody's. That's a great credit rating, and that's really where you want to be. Having said that, the budget itself is made up of 3 documents. That's your appropriation resolution, your tax levy resolution, and your nonprofit resolution, and all those are in the very front of the budget. You'll notice once the budget is published, what the county will act on first is the appropriation resolution, and that's basically just approving the expenditures that has been recommended by the budget committee in this budget document. Then you will vote on the tax levy resolution, which is at $1.78, and then you will vote on the nonprofit resolution. The individual statements of each fund is something that you can also vote on, and it's basically what it does. It just combines the entire budget document into one document. And each fund, the general fund, each has its own statements. It's broken down into public safety, for example, ag and natural resources, finance, public safety, the court systems, and other miscellaneous charges. There's not really anything in this budget document that stands out any different than it was last year. Last year, the county voted and approved a budget going into cash, approximately almost $800,000. We don't think the county went into cash that much. Tim and I talked today. The books aren't closed yet, but we do feel like we probably went into cash. If you remember the ambulance service, we switched the billing system. We went with another company to do the billing. Those receipts were down dramatically this year. We did not collect what we had budgeted. So we know we went into cash. We just don't know how much yet until the books are closed. But we're pretty confident that we went into cash. We know at least $250,000. The fact that the county runs its own ambulance service, you're always going to be in arrears. You started the ambulance service, so in order to get it geared up, there's usually a 30 to 45 day lag in revenues. So just from having your ambulance service in place, you're going to have a deficit. You're going to budget a deficit operation because you don't really know how much revenue you're going to get when, in fact, your expenditures will primarily always run pretty close to the same. We believe, the budget committee believes, that the tax levy is sufficient to get you by and stabilize the general fund. It gives a couple other funds a little bit of growth money. We want to make sure that we meet our maintenance of effort for schools. The county's doing that. And looking forward, as the 2003 school refunding bond pays off in 2019, there will be some money left in that local purpose fund where you can either absorb some school debt instead of letting them pay their pro rata share of that energy loan that they had just done for the $3 million that they had just borrowed. So there's some things that we can do to help schools along going forward. We believe that the general fund, we hope that it's stabilized now. Really the only really uncertainty going forward right now is solid waste. We know that the transfer station will be coming on, and we'll be shipping waste out of the county. We know there's going to be some transition. We don't know how much we'll be able to save by doing that. We do think that there will be some. We just don't know how much yet. But until that gets online, then we'll either have to use some of the money from the capital projects fund to help close the landfill, or to issue a $1.5 million note or bond, which the county adopted a reimbursement resolution, and we want to make sure that we have enough cash remaining in that solid waste fund to make sure it cash flows on a monthly basis. If anybody's got any questions about the budget document, we'll be glad to field any questions.